and trainers, professional nurse, Dr. two directors, dear friends, really welcome of nice time, nice place, nice section that I appreciate. India today is the great identity of our nation. It was said by first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, our present lies in the past. Whatsoever we see in this present time, it is the contribution of our past. 100% present sense of mind, past. It is said by initiator creators, those who came first in India, it was their aim to spend their maximum time with nature by doing yoga, meditation, pranayam. They addressed indirectly by their autobiographies, by their stories, by their actions, we read them. It is expressed by Indian Holy Motherland that we are one, we have equality, unity, oneness, whether we have diversities, adversities, varieties. It is the great need of this present time. It was the great need and it will be the great need of future as well, because this is the natural principle that was founded by, started by, generated by our forefathers, freedom fighters, free thinkers, those who came first on this Indian land. They addressed us to be one, bottom to top, root to fruit. It is very necessary today. Our present Prime Minister Modi ji also addressed this principle or doctrine of the life to the worldly people, because it is the natural identity of our nation, and still today we are one physically, socially, internationally, mentally, physically, socially, even spiritually. So it is the great thing of life that keep us in present. Our all holy religions of our holy land explains that we are made by five elements: air, fire, soil, sky, and water. So we feel the presence of Lord or God in these five elements. Even where there is not the presence of these five elements, there is also the presence or existence of the Lord or God. It is said. It is also expressed by Swami Vivekananda, social reformist. He addressed that God or Lord in the form of rays of light does exist, and in the waves of sound also does exist. So we are to feel his presence everywhere for becoming fearless and friendly with nature, the power which was and which will. That is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, almighty Lord. He never leaves us alone. Dear friends, today let us go through result day winner takes it all. New Delhi or Mumbai or Ranchi. 1.5 months after an interesting day of counting of votes for the Haryana Assembly elections, which ultimately retained the Bharatiya Janata Party government for a third straight term with initial trend showing a massive led by Congress, another season of a bitterly contested election in Maharashtra and Jharkhand, as well as by-polls in Wayanad Lok Sabha seat. And assembly segment in Uttar Pradesh will conclude on Saturday afternoon with a declaration of results, while Wayanad is set to pave the way for Congress candidate Priyanka Gandhi to Lok Sabha, who shall join her brother Rahul and mother Sonia in the parliament. Stakes are high for BJP-led National Democratic Alliance (NDA) and Congress-led India bloc in both states, as well as a battle of prestige in the by-polls of Punjab, Kerala, Uttarakhand, and a crucial one in Uttar Pradesh post the BJP's dismal performance in the year's general elections. The result of Uttar Pradesh by polls will be a huge contributing factor in setting a narrative for the next assembly polls in the state. Due in 2027 by elections to 48 assemblies constituencies and two parliamentary constituencies spread across 15 states were also held simultaneously. The elections for the 81 seat Jharkhand Assembly took place on November 13 and 20, while Maharashtra, which has 288 assembly seats, went two polls in a single phase on November 20. But in Maharashtra, fissures have emerged within the ruling BJP Shiv Sena combined Maya Huti and opposition Congress, Shiv Sena Uddhav, Mahavikas Aghadi MVAH, who will head the next government with several contenders for the chief minister's post currently held by Shiv Sena's breakaway faction. Eknath Shinde, who topped Congress and NCP backed Uddhav Thackeray, resigned. According to media reports from Mumbai, Maharashtra, Congress remains that voting trends suggest the Congress will get the maximum number of seats has not gone down well with Alliance Shiv Sena, whose tall leader Sanjay Raut insisted the chief ministerial phase will be decided by all alliance partners jointly once the MPA secures majority. The Rajya Sabha MP said if the Congress High Command has told State Congress Chief Nana Potela that he will be the chief ministerial face, then the national party's president Mallikarjun Kharge and its top leaders Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra should announce the same. On the Mayayuti side, Shiv Sena MLA and party spokesperson Sanjay Sirsat said the assembly elections were contested with Chief Minister Eknath Shinde as the face. Voters have shown their preference for Shinde through voting. I think it is Shinde's right to be the next CM, and we are confident that he will be the next CM. Seerath said, however, BJP leader Parveen Darekar batted for Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis for the top post. I think if anyone from the BJP is becoming the CM, then it will be Devendra Fadnavis. He said. On the other hand, another partner NCP advocated for their party chief and Deputy CM Ajit Pawar for the coveted job. Down south, elaborate arrangements have been made for the counting of votes in the three by-polls in the state, Wayanad Lok Sabha and the Palkad and Chelkara assembly seats. Wayanad seat attracted national attention due to the electoral debut of Priyanka Gandhi, who is contesting against Communist Party of India, veteran Satyan Mokeri and BJP's Navy's Haridas. The UP by-elections are seen as a litmus test for the BJP's organizational discipline and electoral strategies. While the party hopes for favorable results, senior leaders are bracing for potential fallout if outcomes fall short of expectations. For by-polls to Punjab for assembly seats, Gidadba, Dera Baba Nanak, Chabbewal, SC and Barnala. The ruling Aam Aadmi Party, AAP, Congress and BJP are looking to register victories in these seats. Congress on Friday also appointed observers for Maharashtra and Jharkhand to oversee the post-election scenarios. Senior party leaders Ashok Gehlot, Bhupesh Baghel and G. Parameshwara will be AICC observers to Maharashtra, while Tariq Anwar, Mallu Bhatti, Vikram Vikramarka and Krishna Aluviru have been named observers for the Jharkhand. Center opposes ex-Supreme Court judges panel. Pioneer News Service New Delhi, the center on Friday opposed in the Supreme Court a proposal to form a committee of former Supreme Court judges to oversee the implementation of measures to curb stubble burning, a key contributor to Delhi NCR's air pollution. The suggestion was put forth before a bench of Justice Abhay S. Oka and Augustine George Massey, hearing a case related to the rising pollution in Delhi NCR by senior advocate and amicus Curie Aparajit Singh. Meanwhile, the bench said it would consider on November 25 whether or not to ease the anti-pollution grab for restrictions in Delhi NCR, keeping in view the drop in air quality index levels. The amicus said the judges had previously dealt with air pollution and stubble burning issues. A bench headed by former Supreme Court Justice Madan B. Lokur had heard pleas related to pollution and the role of stubble burning as a contributing factors in the past. In 2020, a bench headed by the then CCI Justice S.A. Bobde set up a panel headed by Justice Lokur to deal with the issues relating to stubble burning. The order was later recalled on Friday. The amicus curiae proposed that a committee of these judges could monitor and hear all stakeholders, including farmers and government authorities, for a comprehensive approach to address the crisis. A committee of experienced judges familiar with these issues could efficiently oversee the situation and hear individual grievances, said Singh. The proposal, however, was met with strong resistance from additional Solicitor General Aishwara Bhatti, representing the centre. Bhatti asserted the centre and the Commission for Air Quality Management were taking adequate measures and that adding another oversight layer would be counterproductive. We strongly oppose this suggestion. There is no need for an additional judicial committee as yet. lordships are already monitoring the situation. We are answering all concerns, correcting shortcomings, and making progress, said SEZ Bhatti while opposing the creation of any more tiers. The amicus clarified her suggestion was for a fact finding committee, but Bhatti countered the statement, saying the government was already working with the available data and frameworks to address the issue effectively. Hanji, yes. Canada dismisses report linking Prime Minister Dole to criminal activities. News from Ottawa PTI. The Canadian government has dismissed a media report linking Prime Minister Narendra Modi, External Affairs Minister, and Jai Shankar and National Security Advisors Ajit Doval to criminal activities in Canada, including the alleged plot to kill Sikh separatist Hardeep Singh Nijar, terming it as speculative and inaccurate. The denial made by Nathalji Droin, National Security and Intelligence Advisor to Canadian Prime Minister on Thursday, came a day after India strongly traced the report as smear campaign, quoting an unnamed senior national security official. The Globe and Mail newspaper on Tuesday reported that Canadian security agencies believe Prime Minister Modi knew about the killing of Niger and other violent plots. The official said Canadian and American intelligence ties tied the assassination operations to Home Affairs Minister Amit Shah. Also in the loop, the official said was Dolan Jaishankar. International Gita Mahotsav, Divine Confluence of Spirituality, Art and Culture, CM Sani, Chandigarh, urging the people of the state and the country to join the International Gita Mahotsav starting from November 28 to December 15 in Kurukshetra, Haryana. Chief Minister Naib Singh Saini on Friday said Tanzania will be the partner country while Odisha will be the partner state, calling the festival a divine confluence of spirituality, art, and culture. Saini said the solution to every problem can be found in Bhagavad Gita, which has inspired many of the world's leading thinkers. It is our duty to ensure its teachings reach every home and individual. Addressing a press conference, he also said the Gita Mahotsav will enhance the partnership between the two countries, besides providing the people of Tanzania with a unique opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of Haryana. Lakhs of people from India and abroad attend the Gita Mahotsav, which was first held in 2016. Last year, approximately 45 to 50 lakh people took part in the event, and we expect a similar turnout this time, as well, Sani said. The annual International Gita Mahotsav is a shining example of how culture can bring people together to promote global harmony and mutual understanding. Tanzania's High Commissioner to India, Anisha K. Mbega said, stating that events like Gita Mahotsav are more than celebrations. Mbega said they are bridges that connect us, fostering deeper ties and mutual appreciation of our rich cultural heritage. The Tanzania, the Tanzanian envoy was present in the press conference to provide details about the upcoming festival, which is into its ninth edition this year. Swami Gyananand Maharaj, known for his research on Bhagavad Gita, was also present at the treasure. The main events of the festival will be held from December 5 to 11. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Haryana government and the organizers for inviting me to be part of this prestigious celebration and for making Tanzania the partner country. It is an honor for us to be part of the International Gita Mahotsav 2024. Mbega said this event is a shining example of how culture can bring people together, promoting global harmony and mutual understanding. Tanzania and India share a relationship that spans centuries from trade route to philosophical ideas. Our interactions have enriched with both the regions and fosters a deep bond grounded in mutual respect, she added. The Tanzanian envoy also said the Gita Mahotsav reflects the engaging partnership between the two regions, showcasing how cultural traditions can transcend borders and create lasting connections while studying the Gita. We discovered its particularity and strong relevance even in today's era. It continues to have an enduring relevance in the modern world, she said. As we celebrate this Mahotsav, let us envision a future where the Haryana Tanzanian partnership continues to grow, enriching both regions economically and culturally and socially. Guided. She also mentioned Prime Minister Narendra Modi's wide-ranging talks with visiting Tanzanian President Sammy Suluhu Hassan in October 2023 with a focus on boosting overall bilateral ties. Among other things, the two leaders agreed to deepen the cultural ties between Tanzania and India, she said. We are sending two ministers to attend the Gita festival, she said, adding that Haryana and India have played a pivotal role in strengthening the socio-economic relations between Tanzania and India. Initiatives such as the Haryana Africa Conclave and participation of Haryana in the Dar es Salaam International Trade Fair this year have been instrumental in fostering collaborations, highlighting the commitment to deepen its ties with the African nations, she said. Cutting Tanzania as the home to a large Indian community. Mbega said, we share the same culture you can see. Mehndi on my hands, which is a cultural symbol in Tanzania as well. Sani, during his address, also recalled Prime Minister Modi's vision of spreading the teachings of Gita to every home across the world. In line with this vision, Swami Jananandji Maharaj is actively working to share Gita's message globally. He said, as part of the Gita Mahotsav, a recitation of slokas from the holy text will be presented by 18,000 students on December 11th, Sani said. Cultural program will also be organized during the festival, while like previous years, Gita book fairs and exhibitions will be held at the Brahma Sarovar in Kurukshetra from December 5 to 11, he added. The Chief Minister also said a craft fair will be organized from November 28 to December 15 to showcase the cultures of Tanzania and Odisha along with artistic creations by various craftsmen. Suryavanshi Surya's Minister of State for Odisha Odia language, literature and culture expressed his gratitude to the Haryana government for the designating Odisha as the partner state this year. The Gita Mahotsav will provide Odisha with an opportunity to showcase its rich culture, heritage, folk dance and traditional cuisine, Suraj said. Global concerns over gender bias in politics. Last year, a law has been passed reserving one third of seats in Lok Sabha and state assemblies for women, but implementation its implementation stands postponed till the process of delimitation of constituencies is over. In the wake of Donald Trump's victory, a survey unveils deep concerns over the future of women's rights, reproductive autonomy, and gender equality in the US. In the aftermath of Donald Trump's electoral victory for the second term, a prominent US daily conducted a survey among more than 5,000 women voters for their reactions. A majority of them expressed concerns about the erosion of rights and their reproductive future and aired an array of emotions such as sadness, scariness, disappointment, hurtfulness, betrayal, and heartbreaking. Comments of some first time voters also denoted despair as many of them felt that their voices were more silenced than ever and that they had been left empty handed. While 36-year-old women ruled that it is clear that men wanted to hold on to power, sexism won these elections. While another leading US daily attributed Harisha's defeat to her greater emphasis on issues like abortion rights and the protection of democracy and for not paying adequate attention to the state of the economy or immigration, which many Americans viewed as the most pressing issues. Harish, on the other hand, in her concerned speech, urged her supporters to remain vigilant and keep fighting for their values. Nevertheless, many non-profits working for reproductive freedom asked Democrats to developing a long-term plan to directly confront the sexism both within their party and the nation that hampered both Harish and Hillary Clinton's the only woman to win a major party's presidential nomination in the US. Women occupied 28% of congressional seats in 2023, while Democrats had an edge over the Republicans with 51% of seats and Republicans with only 15.4% of members. Women are 32.7% of all state legislators, 48% of Democrats and 20% of the Republicans. Democratic women are at or above parity with Democratic men in 26 state legislatures, while Republican women fall short of parity with Republican men in all states, holding one third or less of the Republican seats in 47 state legislatures. Studies commented that prevailing benefits and attitudes about gender roles in the prestigious parties control political representation and more traditional perceptions among conservationists persist that women's success is at the expense of men. Center for American Women and Politics at Rutgers University. However, it is not the US alone that didn't ever elect a woman in the highly socially and economically advanced countries like Sweden. Despite having a good record of women's representation in most institutions, 47.5% in parliament and 44.5% in the Council of Ministers has never had a woman as a Prime Minister. Countries in Eastern Europe and Central Asia have only closed 15% of hypothetical 100% gender gap in political empowerment, while India, the largest democracy, has a scant presence of women 13.62% in the current Lok Sabha. Last year, a law was passed reserving one third of seats in Lok Sabha and state assemblies for women, but its implementation stands postponed till the process of delimitation of constituencies is over. India did have women prime minister and two women presidents, but deep structural and systematic difficulties created women's poor representation, resulting in a democratic deficit in governance and decision making. Rahman and Rao 2024. India ensured women's participation in the rural urban local bodies since the early 90s. Yet several surveys found that a majority of women elected representatives reported gender-wise discrimination, and in many places their male relatives, especially husbands, played toxic roles. While explaining reasons for this uneven power equation in politics, studies explicated that there is a gender gap in ambitions, as many eligible women with the required professional and economic credential as political candidates often feel less encouraged to run for executive offices and tend to believe that they are less qualified for such offices than men. Evidence also suggests that women's political careers are often influenced by family and relational constitutions, and if they face higher cost for their career achievements, they shy away from pursuing such objectives. At the same time, other researchers pointed out voters' bias and discrimination, which matter quantitatively in women's electoral prospectus. Even political party leaders act as gatekeepers. If they are aware of voters' bias against women and are inclined to promote male candidates rather than female contenders as a vote maximizing strategy and Bagwoods 2022. Nevertheless, data from the latest Wave of the World Value Survey in Western Europe found that less than 20% of survey respondents express agreement with the statement men make better political leaders than women do. Now, what is the way out? The introduction of gender quotas into candidates lists in different countries like Sweden is more or less effective in empowering women and improving the quality of the elected politicians, particularly by regulating the composition of candidates lists. Many also suggested that a combined politico-economic strategy that emphasizes women's inclusion in the labor market and the redistribution of economic roles within couples could change gender role attitudes and help women to make entry into positions of political power as the world remains deeply entrenched in patriarchal mindset, sexism, and gender divisions of labor. Women's share as chief political executive is still outnumbered by men by more than 9 to 1. Now, news from analysis. Trump's re-election sparks climate policy shift. US at a crossroad amid global action. As the world shifts towards renewables, the US faces mounting pressure to balance its growth with environmental responsibility. With the re-election of Donald Trump, the United States is poised to enter a critical period of climate policy retrenchment. Trump's policies promise increased fossil fuel production and the reversal of major clean energy investments, threatening global efforts to combat climate change. Trump's proposed energy policy suggests a substantial setback for climate action. His administration aims to roll back the Inflation Reduction Act IRA, which has allocated billions of dollars in tax credits for renewable energy projects and EV incentives, spurring substantial private sector investment in 2024 alone. Global clean energy spending hit $2 trillion, double the amount invested in the fossil fuels, yet Trump's proposed policies could throttle US participation in this growth, reinforcing dependency on fossil fuels rather than joining the global trend toward clean energy, where renewables now constitute the most economical choice in many regions. The implications of a second US withdrawal from the Paris Agreement are prospect. Trump has not ruled out a profound when Trump first exited the agreement in 2017. It allowed other nations to delay action under the guise of US non-participation. If Trump, if Trump follows through again, it could stymie, stymie global climate funding negotiations, particularly for developing countries. Although the US has committed to contributing to $100 billion global fund for climate adaptation and migration mitigation, the administration's climate skepticism puts these financial obligations at risk. Without US leadership's experts fear slower progress and international agreements crucial to keeping global warming within the 1.5 degrees Celsius target. Domestically, Trump's policies would deepen the US dependency on fossil fuels. His administration's strategy emphasizes maximizing domestic oil and gas production, particularly from reserves Trump calls liquid gold. However, the fossil fuel industry's employment numbers tell a different story. The US green economy supports over 10 million jobs compared to 300,000 in fossil fuel industries. The economic case for green energy is clear, yet Trump's vision includes reestablishing subsidies for oil, coal, and natural gas, effectively sidelining the renewable sector in 2023. Electric vehicles comprised 18% of global car sales, a significant jump from just 2% 5 years prior. Yet Trump has criticized electric vehicles and promised to impose tariffs on imported Chinese EVs, potentially raising prices and diminishing EV adoption in the US market. These policies might inhibit US competitiveness in EV manufacturing and battery technology, where other nations, especially China, have taken the lead. Another ceremony's proposal from Trump's allies involves dismantling federal programs that support climate research and environmental regulation. Plans under Project 2025 advocate for defunding key agencies like the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and scaling back environmental protection agencies, greenhouse gas monitoring without federal support for climate research and mitigation. The US could lose critical insight into atmospheric changes in a geopolitical context. Trump's re-elections could weaken the US influence in global climate governance. Given the US role in controlling financial institutions that facilitate climate finance, its withdrawal or failure to meet commitments could reduce climate funding, a key agenda item at the COP's 29 summit in Baku. As the world's largest historical emitter, the US has a responsibility to lead by example, yet with US emissions have only fallen 5% since 1990. Reduction, the country's role as a climate leader is increasingly tenuous. under Trump's leadership. Despite federal opposition, analysts believe that state governments, corporations, and financial markets will continue advancing climate action, albeit at a potentially slower pace. Over the past decade, bipartisan support for renewable energy is increased, driven by job creation and energy independence rather than environmental motives alone. With or without federal backing, the economic engine for clean energy remains robust with new manufacturing plants and energy storage facilities rapidly coming online, particularly in states that benefit from IRA funded projects given that federal policy directly influences emission standards, environmental regulations, and international commitments. The pace of progress could indeed slow with repercussions for both the US economy and global climate goals. If the Trump's policies take effect, is it likely that the US will fall even further behind on international climate standard? What risk will US industries face if they resist the global shift to cleaner energy, only to find themselves competing in a marketplace that increasingly penalizes high emission practices? Important articles for the learners and for competitors, those who are fighting, preparing themselves for the competitions. US allegations renew questions on governance at Adani Homes. SMP news from New Delhi. The indictment of Adani Group's founder Gautam Adani by US prosecutors could renew question over the ports to energy conglomerates governance practices and damage its reputation, S&P Global Rating said Friday. US prosecutors have charged Adani and seven others, including his nephew Sagar, with agreeing to pay about US 265 million in bribes to Indian government officials to obtain favorable terms for a solar power supply contract. Adani Group has denied all charges, calling them baseless, and said it would seek all possible legal recourse. The allegations, the allegations would renew questions over the group's governance practices and damage its reputation. We will watch for any signs of weaker funding access or concerns from existing lenders, which could be demonstrated by the lowering of funding limits, non-renewable of facilities, or significantly higher credit spreads. S&P ratings said in a note after the news of the indictment broke. Equity and bond prices across Adani Group's companies have fallen sharply. The group has cancelled a USD 600 million concluded bond sale. This indictment is independent of but follows a short seller report last year, which hit equity and bond prices across the group, although these had subsequently recovered. The group has denied the allegations and asserted that they are baseless. The group needs regular access to both equity and debt markets given its large growth plans, in addition to its regular refinancing. We believe domestic as well as some international banks and bond market investors look at Adani and Tides as a group and could set if financial statements prove true negatively. Separately, research firm credit sites Green energy business is the biggest concern in the near term. Funding channels will inevitably squeeze across the Adani Group with creditors likely to reduce or limit their group-wide exposure. Concerns are most for Adani Green Energy Limited, given it has the weakest liquidity and credit